We continue with these very important concepts of primary jurisdiction, prior resort, and exhaustion of administrative remedies. Primary jurisdiction, well, um, this is in Industrial Enterprise for CA. Supreme Court said that courts usually defer jurisdiction to administrative agencies on cases concerning matters that demand their special competence. The objective of the doctrine is to guide the court in determining whether it should refrain from exercising its jurisdiction until after an administrative agency has determined some questions or some aspect of some question arising in the proceeding before the court. So the administrative agencies has first dibs on on a matter, no? It is its special competence must be regarded by the courts before the courts may take cognizance of a case, no? Um, this Alliance versus Mendoza says that the doctrine of primary jurisdiction holds that courts cannot or will not determine a controversy involving a question which is within the jurisdiction of admin tribunal prior to the decision of that question by the admin tribunal, where the question demands exercise of the sound discretion requiring the special knowledge, experience, and services of that said tribunal to determine the technical and intricate matters of fact. And uniformity of ruling is essential to comply with the purpose of the regulatory statute administered. This recognizes the fact that administrative agencies has greater competence in the determination of the technical matters involving their field of expertise. No? So, hence, the courts must recognize that some cases must be first referred to these agencies before such court can take cognizance of such cases. These are the requirements: concurrent and original jurisdiction of the court with the admin agency, meaning if they have concurrent jurisdiction, of course, recognize that the court has equal jurisdiction to the matter. However, if um, it would be better for the matter to be first stretched out in the tribunal, then the tribunal must consider it first, the matter first, before the court can exercise its discretion on the same matter. The question requires the expertise of the admin agency. The legislative intent is uniformity of the rulings, and the administrative agency, if performing a quasi-judicial function, is performing a quasi-judicial function. No? So, um, when does primary jurisdiction not apply? Well, in these specific instances, if the agency has exclusive jurisdiction, meaning the court has no authority over it anyway, so it's the agency that must be the primary, must be the only agency that must take cognizance of the matter, no? In theory, no? When the issue is not within the competence of the admin agency, meaning the court can immediately take on the case because the agency has the matter may be of a general concern that the agency need not even have any competence of, no? When the only factual issues are concerned and does not require the expertise of administrative agencies. So these are examples of exceptions, no? In Vidal versus CA, the court said that while no prejudicial question strictly arises when one is a civil case and the other is an admin proceeding, in the interest of good order, it behooves the court to suspend its action on cases before it pending the final outcome of the admin proceedings. The doctrine of primary jurisdiction does not warrant a court to arrogate unto itself the authority to resolve a controversy, the jurisdiction over which is initially lodged with the administrative body of special competence. Then you have the doctrine of prior resort. It applies when a claim is originally cognizable in the courts and comes into play, whether the enforcement of the claim requires the resolution of issues which under a regulatory scheme have been placed within the special competence of an admin agency. You think this is similar to primary jurisdiction, no? because if you look at the doctrine of primary jurisdiction, the special competence of the agency is recognized, no? Together also with this concept of prior resort, the special competence of the agency is recognized. But these are interchangeable concepts. Primary jurisdiction is also known as a doctrine of prior resort. They are interchangeable concepts according to Lim versus Gamosa. And in other cases, however, if you want to distinguish, primary jurisdiction involves deferring to an agency's expertise on specialized issues, while prior resort requires parties to exhaust administrative remedies before turning to the courts. So it's the difference in the focus. One is the focus on the agency's capacity. Second, yung prior resort is on the obligation of parties to first exhaust such remedies. No? So we have also the doctrine of exhaustion of administrative agencies. This is a judicial recognition of certain matters that are, again, within the competence of the admin agency to address. It operates as a shield to prevent the overarching use of judicial power and thus hinders courts from intervening in matters of policy infused with admin character. So, again, it's as if confusing with prior resort and exhaustion, no? Prior resort and tawag nito, primary jurisdiction. No? So, but I look at this the rationale. Judicial intervention should only be availed after all the remedies have been exhausted. Okay, so the rationale is it entails lesser expenses and provides for a speedier resolution of controversies if parties would exhaust admin remedies first before going to the courts. So the effect, and if you look at the effect, the effect of failure to exhaust admin remedies, the failure to exhaust remedies in admin bodies does not affect the jurisdiction of the courts. The courts can still hear cases. No, it may be dismissed for non-exhaustion of remedies, but again, the permissive word here may is used. No, may be waived if not timely raised. So if the party fails to question the non-exhaustion of remedies by the other, then it's waiving that ground. So to distinguish primary jurisdiction or prior resort with the doctrine of exhaustion, you look at these distinctions. Under exhaustion, the failure to observe the doctrine does not affect the court's jurisdiction. But in primary jurisdiction, the court should not resolve issues, no, unless the agency first resolves the matter. So it's on the effect as to the courts. So the doctrine of finality, courts must be reluctant in interfering with the acts of an agency or tribunal prior to its finality. In this case of Paradas versus CA, certainly the questions raised in this petition are not yet ripe for judicial determination. Court should be reluctant to interfere with the administrative action prior to the compliance or completion or finality. The reason being that the absence of a final order or decision, the power of the admin agency concerned has not been fully exercised, and there can be no irreparable harm. So, if you want to study admin law, go to the administrative code, no? So, the administrative code is the general law on administrative matters, no? The code is a general law and incorporates in a unified document the major structural, functional, and procedural principles of governance and embodies the changes in admin structures and procedures designed to serve the people. Ople versus Torres. So, the code contains this content, no? The organization, powers, and the general administration of the departments, bureaus, and offices, organization and the functions of constitutional commissions, the rules on national governmental budget, guidelines on the exercise of administrative by admin agencies of quasi-judicial and quasi-legislative powers. The admin code also defines what the government of the Republic of the Philippines is, or it also defines an agency of government, defines what a department is, defines what a bureau is, defines what an office is, what a government instrumentality is, what a regulatory agency is, a chartered institution, a GOCC, of course. Read this case of Blaquera versus Alcala. This is relevant in the understanding of the non-suability concept, diba? Remember in Consti 1? In the matter of the suability of the state relates to the nature of the function, no, of the office. GOCCs may perform governmental or proprietary functions or both, depending on the purpose for which they have been created. If the purpose is to obtain special corporate benefits or earn pecuniary profit, the function is proprietary. If it's in the interest of health, safety, and the advancement of public good, welfare, that is the governmental functions. Okay. So it's essential to know the function because it relates also to the matter of the suability of the state, you know, of the agency. You know. The test to determine whether the corporation is government owned and controlled or private in nature is simple. It is created by it is created by its own charter for the exercise of public function or by the incorporation under the incorporation law. So again, how is it incorporated? No, is it by its own charter or by the general corporation law, the corporation code? No? Those with special charters are government corporations under the civil service commissions. Therefore, what do you mean by with original charter? With original charter means that the GOCC are created by special law as distinguished from the corporation code. So, yung sinasabing manner of creation, if it's created by its own charter, its own original charter, then it means that it is created by law. Okay. Otherwise, it's created by the general incorporation or corporation law, the corporation code. So the significance again, an unincorporated agency without any separate judicial personality of its own enjoys immunity from suit because it is invested with the inherent power of sovereignty. Accordingly, a claim for damages against an agency cannot prosper otherwise the doctrine of sovereign immunity is violated. Also, that's in the case of ATO versus Spouses Ramos. Okay. Also in NHA versus Gebelondo. So that's it. I hope this review may have helped you understand or review your admin law, but this will not make sense if you don't read the main text itself. No? This is simply to guide you to what to read the preparation for your exam or the bar exam. Thank you and have a great day ahead.